Hello and welcome back to Jimbo's PC Builds. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to have a go at modding for the first time. So today I have built like a PC of old parts that I have in my garage that I use for like playing Netflix when I'm doing work in there, and also if I need to do some research or watch a YouTube video on how to do stuff, I use that PC for it. It's not a great PC. It's got a very, very small monitor, and basically I've hooked it up to a speaker so it does its job. It's great. Problem is, aesthetically, it's not very pleasing, and every time I see it, it nags at me. So this is going to be like a bit of a vlog video. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to move to the garage and we're going to have a look at the PC, what it looks like, and then we'll get cracking on with the modding and everything else. And at the end of all of that, I'll bring the PC in here and we'll have it up on the bench and we can have a good look at it. I'll get the camera in nice and close so you can have a good look at it. All right, so let's get on with going to the garage, having a look at the PC, and then we'll move on from there. So this is my current garage PC. You can see I have a little keyboard and a Razer mouse, and I have it in the little corner on my workbench. This is where I do like work around for stuff around the house. And there's the PC in all its glory. Now it's an older machine. It's a Ryzen 5 1600. It's got a RX 4460 graphics card, I think. The power supply is not great. I think it's like a 600 watt. But you'll notice, if I get in close, all that lovely ketchup and mustard. Look at it all go. Now this is in a very old Antec case. This case came over with me when I moved to the States, I would say, 12 years ago. Coming up on 12 years. So it's a wonderful case. I love it. It's I'm very nostalgic about this case because I've been an old case I used to love. When I built this, I put, an RGB fan in the back. There's RGB fans, I don't know if you can see in the front. But the cabling is just a mess, and I'm not very happy with it. So I'm going to have a go at modding this case to try and tidy up the cabling inside, to try and make it look a lot neater. So yeah, let's get this inside and let's try and have a go at it. One of the bad things about it being in a garage is you saw things and look at all that sawdust. So there's not, with an old case, there's no real filters on the, well, there is on the front there, but on the top here there's nothing stopping the dust going in. So I think one of the problems I'm going to have with this is going to have to give it a really good clean before I can look at doing any kind of modding on it. So I've got it inside so you can, and take my panels off so you can have a good look at it now. I don't know if you can see that because of the light, but the dust is matted on top of the cooler there. So, and it's on the GPU as well. It's on the PSU. The dust is everywhere. So I need to do something with filters as well. You can see there is all the nest of ketchup and mustard in its finest delight. And one of the problems I've got, if I turn this around at the back, is old cases didn't used to have any space at the back for cable management. So I'm going to have an interesting time trying to sort this out. Now what I did previously, don't know if you can see in the top corner up there, I've marked a cutout where I want to put the CPU power cable, and I've also put cutouts there and there for any graphics card cable cut through and anything for the front I/O. So I'm going to see if I can do that. Oh, and also, you don't know if you can see it through all the ketchup and mustard there, but I've cut a hole, made a markings for a hole for the main board power. The general plan of attack is that I'm going to use cable extensions, and there's a gap, let me just try and find it, down the back over here where I'm going to bundle all the ketchup and mustard cables and use cable extensions to do like the power and stuff like that. I'm going to utilize this gap and try and put them thinly down in like this hole here, and the one for the GPU is going to be a challenge. There's not a lot of room for it there, but I'm going to see what I can do. But I'm going to see if I can turn this from looking like an ugly spider crawl into something that actually looks half decent. But the first job is going to be to try and clean it. I'm going to get me vac out, but just to give you an idea, I'm going to get some compressed air and see what happens. Oh yeah, the dust, oh there's some gone from there, that's better. Back of the GPU. Oh, I'm going to have to take everything off the thing and give it a good wipe down. Alright, I'll get on to that and then we'll do some modding. So the power supply is actually a Silverstone 750 watt. As you can see, it's an older one and it's taken a bit of damage over time, but still works absolutely fine. Still full of dust though. So now I've got everything out that I wanted to take out. You can see now more clearly the mark cutouts that I've put in for all the power. So the next step is to sort of tie all the cables down that I've got in here still, and then get the Dremel out. So for cutting the holes, I'm going to use standard Dremel metal cutting piece, like so. Now I'm doing this inside in my basement where I've basically got nothing of value apart from the stuff I've got around me. But I would suggest, if you want to do this, well, always wear safety goggles, which I'll quickly wipe because they're dusty. But I would recommend that if you do this, do it outside or in a garage, because the sparks may fly because it's cutting metal. The other thing is, I'll mention is I'm going to cut these, but as you can see, these are going to be bare metal. I'm going to file them down, but the other thing I'd recommend is if you buy some rubber edging to put around the actual holes once you've cut them. So I've managed to cut my first line down there. It's pretty straight. Hopefully the next ones will be the same. It's a pretty arduous task, so that's why I'm not filming doing it, because it's just me going up and down with the Dremel, but progress. So I'm going to finish this hole, do that hole. This hole is going to be challenging because it's quite tight, and this one is very close to the cable, so I'm going to have to be careful with this one. Alright, on with the cutting. So I've managed to cut through 3 sides. I'm going to cheat if I can. Instead of having to cut this last side, I'm going to see if I can just snap it off, bend it, and if not, then I'll get the Dremel to this side as well. What's clear is, look at all this waste here. There's also some very rough edges, so I'll need to get the file on that and really sort of tidy it up. But looks alright so far. Looks like I can't bend it. Looks like I'm going to have to put it back and then get the Dremel on it for the other side. Alright, on with the cutting. There we go, first hole cut. I'm going to cut the rest of the holes, the one up here, which is going to be a challenge, this one, and the one over here where I'm going to have to start getting creative in terms of tucking away cables. Alright, on we go. So I've cut 3 holes so far, one for the CPU power up in the corner, one here, which is for the likes of the HD audio and stuff like that. Originally I've marked it down here because that's where an ATX case would go, but the ATX power, motherboard should I say, but the motherboard that's in this now is a micro ATX, so I've cut a hole there. If I need to put an ATX in, I can cut it further down if I need to in the future, and I've also cut the hole here, which is for the GPU power cables. The last thing I've got to do now, which is going to be the hardest one to do probably because it's the biggest, is for the actual main board power. Alright, let's get on with it. So I've now cut all the holes, and I've tested that the likes of the 24-pin power. Oh, it went for a minute ago. There you go. Goes through the gap like that, so we're in good shape. So we're good to go. Got the hole for the 24-pin power, hole for the graphics cables, hole for the HD audio, and a hole for the CPU power at the top. So next I'm going to put all the parts back in and do some cable management, and then we'll see how it looks. Alright, I'll see you on the other side. As you can see, it looks so much better inside. Managed to get these, I've changed the power supply, so this is a different power supply, because 750 watts was too much anyway. I've changed the graphics card over to a 1660 Ti, so you know, it's a little bit better. As you can see, I've got all the cables tucked away now, so it looks a lot better. The hole for the CPU power cable works great at the top. You got it nice and tidy. The main power cable goes to the 24 pin. The GPU's coming through the hole there. All the other cables, like the front panel controllers, USB, and then HD audio comes in below there, are coming all through the holes that they've cut in. So yeah, it looks great. All I've got to do now is try and get the back panel on. So here's the final PC. I've changed some of the components in it. I've changed the memory. I've gone for G.Skill 3800 because it's quicker than the 3200 was in there and should get the better out of the Ryzen 5 1600. I've also changed the power supply. I've gone for, it's still only a 650, but it has black cables, so it looks a lot nicer, and you can see I've got them all tucked in there. I've also gone for a 1660 Ti, which is a slight upgrade on the graphics. But also you can see, because I've installed the OS and I've installed the MSI software, I've got all of the RGB lined up as well. So that's all of the components and the change and all that kind of stuff. Let's have a look at how the actual modding came out. So if you can see at the bottom, you can see the HD audio is going through the hole there. Now you'll notice I haven't put any rubber on any of the holes. After filing them, they were okay, so I didn't bother. Here's the GPU cable. You can see it coming out through there and going to the GPU. And then you got the 24 pin, which come in there. And you can see that gap I talked about earlier. You can see all the cables are tucked in there, so it looks nice. And then I've got the CPU power cable up in the top corner coming through really nice. So a couple of things of note. On the back panel, it was a challenge. What I had to do was put it on its side and then literally squish it right down to get the back panel on, but I got it, so it's good. But everything else came out really, really well. I'd have to say that the difference between what was there previously and what's there now is just immense, and I'm so happy with it. All right, there we go. I hope you like how it looks, and as you can see as well, it's clean as well. All right, on to my conclusion of the video. So as you can see from the good look at the PC, it came out really well, surprisingly. Or not surprisingly, depending on you look at it. I'd have to say that one of the few things I've learned from this is how to cut metal with a Dremel. When I first started, I was endlessly grinding. As I got more the hang of it, I was trying to press too hard, and I got if I get it at a certain angle and I did it right, by the time I finished cutting my last hole, I think I got reasonably good at it. So yeah, does this give me confidence to do future modding? Possibly, yeah, but not going to get there yet. But anyway, I think the PC looks fantastic now. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in terms of, if you want any ask any questions about the modding or anything else, leave them in the comments down below. Toss a like on the video if you like this. If you didn't like it, then leave a dislike. But either way, leave some. If didn't like it, leave some comments down below so we can improve the channel. Please subscribe because subscribers are always welcome, and don't forget to hit that bell icon because I don't release videos on a regular cadence. I try and get one out every month. I sometimes don't succeed in that. So if you hit the bell icon, you'll be notified when a new video comes out, especially, you know, for like the likes of the Cooler League, which tends to be a bit more popular. So you'll know when I've got a new cooler tested and out. Yeah, and that's all the YouTube stuff. I hope you found this intriguing. I enjoyed doing this build. I think it was one of the most rewarding things I've done with a PC in a while. I'm really pleased with how it looks. I just know that once I've got it into the garage, I'm going to have to clean it again very soon. All right, that's it for now. I hope you're well, and as always, take care.